Okay, so this is our fourth lecture, right? And in the last lecture, we have discussed about the different styles of modeling, right? Or different types of architecture that we can use to write any VHDL code. Okay, so as we have seen, there are basically three types of architecture or three styles of modeling. First one is a behavioral, second one is a data flow, and third one is the structural, right? So these are the three basic styles of modeling that we can use to write any VHDL code, right? Before that, we have discussed about the basic building block of any VHDL code. So first you have a library, then you must have an entity, and then you have an architecture. Now in that architecture part, again, in how many ways you can design or you can implement the architecture of VHDL code, or what are different styles that you can use to implement the architecture. So there are three types, or there are three styles of modeling. Again, I will repeat, types of architecture or styles of modeling is one and the same thing, right? Basically, there are three types of modeling. First one is a behavioral, second one is a data flow, and third one is a structural. Okay, in these three, or by using these three ways, you can write any VHDL code, right? But these three ways also have the same structure, that as we have discussed. लक्षात येते बेसिक बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स कुठले आहेत VHDL कोडचे? लायब्ररी, एंटिटी, आर्किटेक्चर. फक्त आर्किटेक्चरचे हे तीन टाइप्स आहेत. कुठले तीन टाइप्स आहेत आर्किटेक्चरचे? एक तर तुम्ही बिहेवियरल स्टाईल आर्किटेक्चर यूज करू शकता, किंवा डेटा फ्लो स्टाईल आर्किटेक्चर यूज करू शकता, किंवा स्ट्रक्चरल स्टाईल आर्किटेक्चर यूज करू शकता. दॅट मीन्स आयदर यू कॅन यूज बिहेवियरल स्टाईल ऑफ मॉडेलिंग. अगेन आर्किटेक्चर अँड मॉडेलिंग इज वन अँड द सेम थिंग. ते एकच आहे, कन्फ्युज नाही व्हायचं त्याच्यात. Behavioral style of modeling, now that means what? These are the three types of architecture only, but basic structure is fixed one. Doesn't matter which type of architecture you are using, but it must have a library and entity, right? What difference it will make is it will change only the architecture style or modeling style, but before that, library and entity will be there. It is fixed one. Any VHDL code must have that library part, must have that entity part, and must have that architecture part. Now in that architecture part, you can use these three types: behavioral, data flow, or structural, right? So again, entity means what? So basically entity is a description of inputs and outputs to the design. It is the most basic building block of the design, and a design can have more than one entity blocks, right? It can have more than one entity blocks, and the entity statements, or whatever the entity statements that you declares in the design, that must include a name of the design, then different input output parameters, ports, right? And each port must be specified with its mode and type, राइट? म्हणजे एंटिटी मध्ये काय काय असलं पाहिजे? बेसिक आधी एंटिटी म्हणजे काय? इट डिस्क्राइब्स द इनपुट अँड आउटपुट्स ऑफ द डिझाइन. इट इज अ व्हेरी बेसिक building block of the design. Then each entity can have more than or a design can have more than one entity blocks, right? Then that particular entity block must have its name, that means design name, or you can say entity name. Then it must have defined the input output parameters, right? Then ports is some constants you have used, then it should be declared within that entity using generic statement. And each port must be specified with its mode, that means whether it is input, output, or in out, then its type, right? Mode and type is very important to define or to what we can say, declare any port, right? Then we have discussed about the library part also. Library means what? So basically library is a single place where the entities, architecture and packages used in VHDL program are stored, right? So what you find in the library? So in that library you will find the entity, architecture and packages that by reference of, or with the reference of that library only, you are using different commands into the entity, into the architecture, into the packages. For example, you have written the C program, right? So why you are using that conio.h and studio.h file, that header files, or you can say that header libraries? Because whatever the printf, scanf statement, get ch, right, different input output, different logical functions that you are using in your program, it is stored into that header files, right? म्हणजे ते हेडर फाइल्स तुम्ही डिक्लेअर करता म्हणून तुम्ही प्रिंटएफ स्कॅनएफ हे वापरू शकता. त्या जर का डिक्लेअर नाही केल्या तर चालतील का? नाही चालणार. तसंच तुम्ही लायब्ररी डिक्लेअर करता किंवा लायब्ररी मेन्शन करता म्हणून तुम्ही एंटिटी, आर्किटेक्चर, पॅकेजेस आणि त्यातले फंक्शन्स किंवा त्यातल्या कमांड्स या वापरू शकता, राईट? सो इट इज ॲज गुड ॲज अ काइंड ऑफ हेडर फाइल्स इन ॲब्स्ट्रॅक्ट लेवल लँग्वेज. आय विल टीच यू. जसं सी मध्ये लायब्ररी आणि हेडर फाइल्स गरजेचं आहे, तसं VHDL मध्ये सुद्धा लायब्ररी इज इम्पॉर्टंट, बिकॉज व्हॉट एव्हर द एंटिटी, आर्किटेक्चर दॅट यू आर युझिंग, त्या एंटिटी मधल्या ज्या कमांड्स, आर्किटेक्चर मधल्या ज्या कमांड्स तुम्ही वापरणार आहात, त्या कुठे स्टोअर असतात? इन द लायब्ररी. दॅट मीन्स लायब्ररी इज द टॉप मोस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द VHDL आर्किटेक्चर. देन यू हॅव अ एंटिटी. मग आपण एंटिटीत पाहिलं. एंटिटी इज व्हॉट? इट इज द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ इनपुट्स अँड outputs of the design. It must have name, it must have its port, mode and type defined, right? It must have defined its input parameters. If you have used any constant, that also that should be defined into the entity. So it is all about entity. Now what about architecture? Architecture is what? All the entities that are declared have an architecture associated with whatever the entities you, and again remember, a particular design can have more than one entity, right? Can have more than one entity, and each entity can have multiple architecture. म्हणजे एका डिझाइन मध्ये अनेक एंटिटी असू शकतात आणि एका एंटिटीची किंवा एका एंटिटीचे अनेक आर्किटेक्चर सुद्धा असू शकतात. दिस इज द फ्लो ऑफ दिस VHDL कोड, राईट? म्हणजे एका डिझाईनच्या अनेक एंटिटी असू शकतात आणि एका एंटिटीचे अनेक आर्किटेक्चर्स असू शकतात. इट इज पॉसिबल इन द VHDL, right? This is a very important point that you have to remember, right? A single design can have more than one entities, and a one entity can have more than one architecture, right? Or can have multiple architectures, right? And the relation, what actually that architecture tells us? The architecture defines the relationship between the input and output of that entity. त्या एंटिटी मधलं इनपुट आणि आउटपुटचं रिलेशन हे आर्किटेक्चर सांगतं. नाउ what is there what is use of the configuration and packages? Okay, again we are going to discuss that points later, but for your sake of understanding we will just put light on that so that you can have at least basic idea of the what do you mean by library, what do you mean by package, what do you mean by configuration in VHDL programming. Okay, in detail we will discuss later on also. So configuration कशासाठी यूज होतं? जसं की आता आपण म्हटलं की एका एंटिटीचे मल्टिपल आर्किटेक्चर्स असू शकतात. जसं की एका डिझाइन मध्ये खूप मल्टिपल एंटिटी असू शकतात, तसं एका एंटिटीला मल्टिपल आर्किटेक्चर्स असोसिएटेड असू शकतात, राईट? अ सिंगल एंटिटी कॅन हॅव multiple architecture. Now the question is how that particular architecture is connected with the single entity, right? For example, you have a single entity and that single entity have the 4 architectures. एक एंटिटी एकच आहे, पण त्या एका एंटिटीला 4 आर्किटेक्चर्स असोसिएटेड आहेत. मग त्याचं तुम्ही काय कराल, और हाऊ यू विल कोरिलेट दॅट पर्टिक्युलर आर्किटेक्चर टू दॅट एंटिटी. सो in that case you have to use the configuration, right? So configuration statements are used for to bind, right? A configuration statements are used to bind a component instance to an entity architecture pair, right? That means when there is a multiple architectures for a single entity, in that case ते प्रत्येक आर्किटेक्चर त्या एंटिटीशी कसे कनेक्ट आहे हे कोण सांगतं, कॉन्फिगरेशन. म्हणजे ते कॉन्फिगरेशन काय करतं, ते कॉन्फिगरेशन त्या सिंगल एंटिटीची त्या मल्टिपल आर्किटेक्चर्सला ते को रिलेट करतं किंवा बाइंड करतं. एंटिटी तर एकच आहे, पण त्या एकाच एंटिटीचे 4 आर्किटेक्चर्स तुम्ही त्याला असोसिएट केलेले आहेत फॉर युअर डिझाइन पर्पज. नाउ हाऊ दॅट डिफरंट और हाऊ दॅट मल्टिपल आर्किटेक्चर इज असोसिएटेड विथ एंटिटी, बाय युझिंग कॉन्फिगरेशन, बाय युझिंग कॉन्फिगरेशन, right? That means a configuration statement is always used for binding a component instance to an entity architecture pair, right? म्हणजे एका एंटिटीशी ते 4 जे त्याचे आर्किटेक्चर आहेत हे त्या कॉन्फिगरेशन थ्रू कनेक्टेड असतात किंवा कॉन्फिगरेशन थ्रू असोसिएटेड असतात, राईट? हे कधी पण कॉन्फिगरेशन, व्हेन वी आर युजिंग कॉन्फिगरेशन, व्हेन यू हॅव अ मल्टिपल आर्किटेक्चर असोसिएटेड विथ दॅट एंटिटी, सिंगल एंटिटी. जेव्हा एका एंटिटीला मल्टिपल आर्किटेक्चर्स असतात, इन दॅट केस ओनली यू कॅन यूज द कॉन्फिगरेशन, so that you can bind or you can establish a connection between that entity and that individual architecture through configuration statements, right? So it is basically used, configuration statements are basically used to bind a component instance to an entity architecture pair, right? And when when this will happen, when a multiple architectures are associated with a single entity, in that case only you can use the configuration to pair, right, or to bind that particular entity to that particular architecture. समजले सगळ्यांना? Next, now what about packages, right? Why to use packages? So basically packages, you can say it's like a library or a toolbox used to build the design using commonly used data types and subprograms. So basically packages are like a toolbox. And why we are using this toolbox? To build the design using commonly used data types and subprograms, right? So in a very simple language, you can say that packages are nothing but your subprograms, right? Packages are nothing but your subprograms, right? So that you can use that subprograms frequently as and when required, right? आपण सी मध्ये पण सब प्रोग्राम कशासाठी लिहितो की whenever we required, every time, otherwise what will happen, every time we have to write that program, same program, but every time we have to write that. So to reduce this hecticness, what we did, we have written one subprogram, and as and when required, we call that subprogram. Similarly, in the same context, in VHDL, we have a concept of packages. आपल्याकडे इथं पॅकेजेसचा कन्सेप्ट आहे. पॅकेजेस म्हणजे काय, ते एक प्रकारचे सब प्रोग्राम्स असतात, राईट? सो पॅकेजेस इज अ काइंड ऑफ टूल बॉक्स यूज टू बिल्ड द डिझाइन using commonly used data types and subprograms. It is similarly to not exactly, but it is quite similar to the library. Packages ha library chaच ek part ahe. So packages is like a library or toolbox used to build a design using commonly used data types and subprograms, right? So it is a part of that library only. So this is what the structure of VHDL code. Now again, coming back to the different styles of or different types of architecture. So first we will discuss is the behavioral styles of architecture. So basically again, what architecture or what is mean by architecture? So architecture describes the behavior of that entity, right? Architectures describes the behavior of that entity, and it is actually establishes, or it is the relation, it describes the relation between the input and output of the entity. आर्किटेक्चर काय सांगतं तुम्हाला, जे तुम्ही आउटपुट मध्ये आपलं सॉरी एंटिटी मध्ये जे इनपुट आणि आउटपुट जे एस्टॅब्लिश केलेलं आहे त्याचं रिलेशन सांगतं कोण, आर्किटेक्चर, राईट. सो इट बेटर डिस्क्राइब्स द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द इनपुट अँड आउटपुट ऑफ द एंटिटी. त्या एंटिटीला जे इनपुट आणि आउटपुट आहे त्यामध्ये रिलेशन काय आहे हे तुम्हाला आर्किटेक्चर सांगतं. सो वी हॅव अ फर्स्ट style of modeling or first type of architecture, that is the behavioral style of architecture. So what we are using in this behavioral style of architecture, so basically this behavioral style specifies what a particular system does in a program, like description using process statement, right? Then it's a kind of description of the behavior of that entity. As the name indicates, behavioral style म्हणजे काय, ते एंटिटी मध्ये जे तुम्ही इनपुट्स आउटपुट डिफाइन केलेले आहेत, हाऊ दॅट इनपुट अँड आउटपुट ऍक्च्युअली कनेक्टेड विथ इच अदर. दॅट मीन्स इट सिम्पली डिस्क्राइब्स द बिहेवियर ऑफ दॅट इनपुट अँड आउटपुट. It better describe the behavior of that input and output, right? Behavioral style, and it always uses a process statement, right? Now what are different statements, concurrent statements and sequential statements, that we are going to discuss later. But this behavioral style of modeling, it must uses the process statement in the architecture part, right? Now the example how to use this behavioral style of modeling. So example is what, you have this architecture written, this architecture name, right? Then is begin, then here is the process statement, right? So this is the concurrent statements that we can use in a VHDL programming. Always remember, this question always come as a multiple choice question, or you can this question you may face while you are oral, right? What is the concurrent statements in the VHDL programming? There are many more, but the prominent one is process statement. So always remember, process statement is the concurrent statement in VHDL programming. What do you mean by concurrent statement? It executed simultaneously, right? It executed simultaneously. That means where the sequence is not important, right? Simultaneous execution is nothing but concurrent execution or concurrent statements. And sequential statements means what? As the name suggests, sequential, step by step, one after another, right? जसं की सी प्रोग्रामिंग मध्ये सिक्वेन्शियली एक्झिक्युशन असतं. पहिले एक एक स्टेटमेंट किंवा एक एक कमांड एक्झिक्यूट होत जाते, त्यांना तुम्ही काय म्हणता, सिक्वेन्शियल स्टेटमेंट्स. आणि जे सायमल्टेनियसली ऍट अ टाइम एक्झिक्यूट होतात त्यांना तुम्ही म्हणता concurrent statement. So process is one of the concurrent statement, right? So you have process written here, then A, B, C in, then begin. If this is the condition, then this may apply and this may apply. That means what? In case of behavioral style of modeling, we are not using any Boolean equation or any kind of K-map or logic equations. What we simply using is behavior of the input towards output, behavior of the input towards output. Okay, see the same context we have written this. Means what we have written, this is the architecture of full adder. That means what, now when A is 0, B is 0 and C is 0, this is the first condition, then sum will be 0 and C out will be 0. Next condition is what, when A is 0, B is 0 and C is 1, or A is 0, B is 1 and C is 1, or A is 1, B is 0 and C is 1, then sum will get 1, else if count will get 0, right? Then else if, third condition, when A is 0, B is 1, A is 1, B is 0, C is 1, this is the three condition, then sum will be 0, count will be C out will be 1, else if this is the last condition. That means what, तुम्हाला याच्यात कुठेही बुलियन इक्वेशन दिसतंय का? नाही. आपण काय केलंय डायरेक्ट की हे इनपुट असताना आउटपुट काय येईल हे डायरेक्ट आपण मेन्शन केलेलं आहे. दिस इज द बिहेवियरल स्टाईल ऑफ मॉडेलिंग. आपण काय केलंय, वी हॅव नॉट मेन्शन्ड एनी बुलियन इक्वेशन. Using process statement, what we did, when these are the inputs, these are the outputs. When these are the inputs, these are the outputs. म्हणजे इथं आपण इनपुट्स पण डिफाइन केले आणि आउटपुट्स पण डिफाइन केले की हे आउटपुट इनपुट्स असताना हे आउटपुट आलं पाहिजे डायरेक्ट. दॅट मीन्स सिंपल बिहेवियर. म्हणजे इनपुट्स पण आपणच ठरवायचे, आउटपुट पण आपणच ठरवायचे. Behavioral style of modeling means that to be corrected one, but in behavioral style of modeling we are not using a Boolean equation. We are simply describing a behavior of that design. Next style is data flow. Now what will happen in this data flow? So you can see now in the data flow modeling, mostly we are using a Boolean equations or K-map equations, right? So there are different combinational logic functions such as adders, then comparators, decoders, primitive logic gates, right? So it is easy to use data flow style of modeling because we have a ready-made Boolean equation or the derived K-map equations, right? So in a data flow style of modeling, only you have to write the final output equation and you have to assign to that particular output. That's it. Your job is over. For example, you can see here, मागच्या केस मध्ये आपण काय केलं होतं की प्रत्येक इनपुटला आउटपुट काय हे ठरवलं होतं, आपणच ठरवलं होतं. आता इथं तसं नाहीये. इथं आपण फक्त काय करतोय, आपण त्याला आउटपुट इक्वेशन देतोय, आउटपुट बुलियन इक्वेशन देतोय. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, सम म्हणजे काय, S XOR with Cin, right, after 10 nanosecond. सिंपल. फुल ऍडर सम इज इक्वल टू S म्हणजे ते इनपुट आहे, XOR with Cin. हे XOR करून जे काय आउटपुट येईल ते तू त्या समला दे. Now here we are not describing the behavior. Here now we are using the Boolean equation, right? Similarly, Cout's equation काय असतं फुल ऍडर मध्ये, A and B or with S and Cin. You can give any name, no problem. You can give any name, right? A and B, B and Cin, and A and or A and Cin, right? This is what the Boolean equation for the full adder. So here in case of data flow style of modeling, what we are doing is we are stating or we are writing a code in the form of Boolean equations or its K-map equations. Now third is a structural style of modeling. Now what happened in this structural style of modeling? So in a case of structural style of modeling, what we normally do is we define the structural implementation using component declaration, right? We define a structural implementation using component declaration and component instantiations. Means what? Now again look at this example. All of you know full adder can be made up of two half adders. It can be made up of two half adders followed by the one OR gate. बरोबर आहे. फुल ऍडर तुम्ही दोन हाफ ऍडर आणि एक OR gate वापरून बनवू शकता का नाही बनवू शकता? Yes, you can. Now in case of this structural style of modeling, what we are doing, we are, instead of writing a code for this entire full adder, we are splitting our design into one half adder, second half adder, and one OR gate, and we are combining these three design, right, to form a full adder. And this is what the structural style of modeling. म्हणजे काय, तर आपण स्ट्रक्चरल स्टाईल मध्ये काय करतो, आपण त्याचे स्प्लिट करतो. ते डिझाईन जे आहे, वी आर स्प्लिटिंग इनटू 3 डिफरंट कॉम्पोनंट्स और 3 डिफरंट युनिट्स, but proper technical word is, in case of VHDL, is component, right? We are splitting that design into different components, and we are describing the connectivity of that components, right? We are describing the connectivity of that components. म्हणजे जे काही एक इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिझाइन आहे, आपण त्याला ते 3 किंवा 4 किंवा as per your what we can say application, we are splitting that entire design into small components, and finally we are connecting that all components whatever you have used, and this style of modeling is called as structural style of modeling or structural type of architecture. I hope you are understanding things, right? Now next part is the packages. Now as we have discussed, packages is what? So packages is a kind of library only, or it's a kind of toolbox only, right? That contains the design or some globally used design units, and it contains some commonly used data types, constants, and subprograms, right? So basically the primary purpose of package is to collect the elements that can be shared globally among 2 or more design units. And what contains in that package? The package contains data types, constants, and some subprograms, right? So again, package may consist of 2 separate design units. First one is a package declaration, and the second one is a package body, right? First one is a package declaration, and second one is a package body. So what is syntax for the package declaration and package body? So syntax is on the screen. So package is the word, then you have to mention the package name, then here is the package declarative items, and end with the same package name, right? This is the package declaration. Now what is syntax to write the package body? So here you have a syntax to use the package body, then package name, then package declarative items, and ended by the same package name, right? See, whatever the syntax we are discussing here, you have to by heart the syntax so that you can able to write the code. हे जे आपण सिंटॅक्स सगळे बघतोय, हे आपल्याला VHDL कोडिंग करताना यूज करायचे. त्यामुळे ट्राय टू concentrate on the syntax that we are going to discuss for the different things. Okay, so this is the syntax for the package. You have a package name, then package declarative item, and finally the end statement with the same package name, right? Then example of this package. So package ex underscore pkg, this is the package name, is subtype integer, is integer range from 0 to 255. This is the constant 0, it is of type integer, and its initial value is 0. Then here is the package body. This is the package name for this package body. Then you have a procedure, different variables, constants you have defined here, sequential statements you can define here, and then finally end statement with the same package name. Here also you can see we have used the same package name for the package declaration also. Means what? In the first thing we have declared the package, and second, in the package body you can write the code that you want to use. First you have to declare the package, and then you can have the package body. In that package body you can write or you can mention the code that you can use for that particular package. That means now whenever this package is called, you have these things ready made with you. Now again you need not to declare that package and you need not to write a code. म्हणजे एकदा तुम्ही त्या पॅकेज मध्ये जे काही डिक्लेअर करून ठेवून नंतर त्याची पॅकेज बॉडी बनवली की युअर जॉब इज टू सिम्पली मेन्शन दॅट पॅकेज, दॅट्स इट. आता परत तुम्हाला हे लिहायची गरज नाही. दिस इज नाउ ग्लोबली स्टोर्ड विथ यू. Now what you need to do is you need to simply mention the package name and you are ready to use all these statements or all these functions. And this is the use of package. Then configuration, same thing we have discussed now already. So configuration, why we require a configuration? So a single entity can have multiple architectures, right? A single entity can have multiple architectures. So to bind that particular entity with all architectures, we require a configuration, right? We require a configuration statement so that we can bind that particular entity to the architecture. That means we can form that entity architecture pair with all architectures. जेवढे केवढे तुम्ही त्या एंटिटीला आर्किटेक्चर्स दिलेले आहेत किंवा जेवढे आर्किटेक्चर्स असोसिएटेड आहेत त्या एंटिटीशी, त्या सगळ्यांना हे कॉन्फिगरेशन जे आहे ते कनेक्टेड ठेवतं. दॅट इज द यूज ऑफ कॉन्फिगरेशन, right? So this configuration can be used to provide the fast substitution of component instant of a structural design, right? So what is use of configuration? So entity may have multiple architectures connect associated with it, and the configuration statements will able to bind that particular entity to individual architecture, that particular entity to individual architecture, right? So it's a fast substitution of the component instances. So, and during the design process, a designer may want to experiment with different variation of a design by selecting different architecture. So for that same entity, you can have multiple architecture, and configuration statements job is to bind that individual architecture with that entity part. This is the job of configuration statements. What is syntax of this configuration statement? So first you have a word configuration. Then again, you have to mention the configuration name, then entity name, for which entity you are writing that configuration. So you have to mention your entity name also, then configuration declarative part. Then you can use some for or conditional statements or some sequential statement, and finally end of the for loop, right? So for statement we are using for the repetition purpose, or for the you want to use some conditions with that configuration, then you can use the for statement. Otherwise you can use the different sequential statements also in that configuration part. Okay, so this is the syntax for the configuration. Here is an example of this configuration, so you can go through it. Now this is what the design libraries that we have discussed up till now, right? Now you can able to know about the packages. What do you mean by packages? Now you can able to know about the entities. Now you can able to know about the architecture and configuration, right? Library म्हणजे काय असतं? It's a common place where the library where the packages, entities and configurations are stored, right? So it's a like what we can say toolbox, or it's like a storage place, or it's a storage where you can find the entities, packages and configuration stored, right? This is the library. Now how to define this library in a VHDL? So first you have a library word, then library name, then its path and directory. Where on your computer where this library is stored, you have to give there the path and its name. And whenever you have that ready-made library with you, then you can use this use in a very simple 3 levels. First you have a library name. In that library which package you are using, and in that package which items you are using, right? So while once we have started once we will start with the practical sessions, then I will explain this concept betterly, right? How to use this library part and which library we are using for the VHDL programming. Okay, this part we will cover in a practical session. Okay, now next part of the VHDL is the data objects. Okay, now what do you mean by data objects? Right, I think the same concept you might have learned in the C language also, right? So in C language also you have a constant variable signal. Okay, see why always I just give the reference of C language, because you have aware of this language and you know a particular machine level language. Obviously VHDL is a higher level language, but the context or the things will be the same in case of any language. Though it is a VHDL, Python or Java, doesn't matter. You have to learn its syntax. It must have its data types. It must have the data objects, right? It must have its syntax or commands, right? कुठली लँग्वेज शिका, कुठली लँग्वेज तुम्ही शिका, पण त्याचं प्रत्येकाचं एक फॉर्मॅट किंवा सिंटॅक्स ठरलेला आहे आणि तुम्हाला तोच यूज करावा लागतो, राईट? सो now the next part is the data objects. So what are the data objects? There are three classes of data objects. Three classes of data objects: constant, variables, and signals. Right? There are three classes of data objects that we have in a VHDL programming. So constant, variable, and signals. Now what do you mean by constant, what do you mean by variables, and what do you mean by signals? That we will discuss now. First we will discuss about the constant. Okay, now what do you mean by constant? As the name indicates, constant, it is defined in the entity part, as we have discussed, by using generic declaration, right? We have that generic declaration part to define the constant. So it is a constant is an object which is initialized to specify value when it is created and which cannot be subsequently modified. That means once you have defined the constant globally, its value cannot be modified. Once you have initialized its value, it always be there, right? And these are the data objects with fixed values. The value is assigned only once when it is declared. जेव्हा तुम्ही तो कॉन्स्टंट डिक्लेअर करता तेव्हाच त्याची एकदा व्हॅल्यू असाइन करायची असते. And the value of constant cannot be changed during the simulation or execution. त्याची व्हॅल्यू एकदा डिक्लेअर केल्यानंतर बदलता येत नाही. Now where this constant declaration can take place? So constant declarations are allowed in the packages. एनटीटी मध्ये आपण करू शकतो. आपण बघितलं एनटीटी मध्ये युजिंग जेनेरिक स्टेटमेंट आपण कॉन्स्टंट डिक्लेअर करू शकतो. आर्किटेक्चर मध्ये करू शकतो, सब प्रोग्राम्स मध्ये करू शकतो, ब्लॉक्स अँड प्रोसेस स्टेटमेंट मध्ये करू शकतो. So the constant declarations are allowed in the packages, entities, architecture, subprograms, blocks, and the process. What is syntax for this constant statement? So you have word this constant, okay, then constant name, then again you have a constant name, its type, and its initial value. You can look at this example. Here a constant word, then constant name is what here? CHAR7, correct 7. Its type, that means data type, is a bit vector 4 down to 0. That means it's a 5-bit character and its initial value is 00111. This 5 bits. Similarly, you can have this constant. Constant name is yes. It's of Boolean type and its value is true. Initial value is true. Same you can use for the integer also. You have to write first constant, then MSB is the constant name. Its type is integer. That means this MSB is of integer data type and its initial value is 5. Okay. So in this way, you can define the constant. Now next is a variable. Okay. Now as the name indicates, variables. What do you mean by these variables? variables are the objects that can be used to store a signal value, single value, and can be updated using VHDL sequential statement. That means constant cannot be updated using a VHDL execution, but variables can be updated for the whenever the program will get executed, right? So variable can update its value because it's a temporary data. बरोबर आहे. व्हेरिएबल म्हणजे काय? इट इज नॉर्मली यूज टू होल्ड अ टेम्पररी डेटा. इट इज नॉट अ फिक्स्ड डेटा. कॉन्स्टंट इज अ फिक्स्ड डेटा. You cannot change that once you declare, but variable, it's the value can be updated during the execution because it holds a temporary value. It is not a fixed one. Now where we can declare the variable? So we can declare variable only in a process or a subprogram. तुम्ही व्हेरिएबल हे प्रोसेस मध्ये डिक्लेअर करू शकता किंवा एखाद्या सब प्रोग्राम मध्ये डिक्लेअर करू शकता. Whatever the sub program that we have stored into the package, either you can declare the variable there or you can declare the variable in process. बरोबर आहे. पण कॉन्स्टंट कुठे कुठे डिक्लेअर करू शकत होतो आपण? एंटिटी मध्ये. दॅट मीन्स यू कॅनॉट डिक्लेअर द व्हेरिएबल इन द एंटिटी. एंटिटी मध्ये आपण कॉन्स्टंट डिक्लेअर करू शकतो. व्हेरिएबल डिक्लेअर करता येतं का? नाही येत. का? बिकॉज इट्स होल्ड टेम्पररी डेटा आणि ह्याचं गरज तुम्हाला आर्किटेक्चर मध्ये, राईट? सो you cannot declare the architecture variable in the entity, but you can declare the constant. Now where you can declare the variable? You can declare the variable in a process statement or in a subprogram, right? Now what is syntax, or how you can declare the variable? So this is the variable word, then again variable name, then same, it's a type and its value. Now here this value can be updated after execution. This is not the fixed value. It will get updated after execution, right? So here is the example. Variable name is delay. It's of type integer type and its range is from 0 to 15 and its temporary value is 5. It can be updated after execution. कॉन्स्टंट मध्ये हे जे असतं ही त्याची फिक्स्ड व्हॅल्यू असते, पण व्हेरिएबल इट्स अ टेम्पररी डेटा और टेम्पररी व्हॅल्यू. इट इज नॉट अ फिक्स्ड व्हॅल्यू अँड द व्हॅल्यू और द व्हेरिएबल मस्ट बी डिक्लेअर्ड इनसाइड अ प्रोसेस and it has to be used within that process only, right? So they are local to those process throughout the entire simulation. That means whatever the variables you have declared within the process cannot be passed outside the process. तसं सी प्रोग्राम मध्ये पण हेच आहे. व्हेरिएबल जे तुम्ही व्हॉइड मध्ये जी व्हेरिएबल्स डिक्लेअर केलेली असतात ते तुम्ही व्हॉइडच्या बाहेर पास करू शकता का? नाही करू शकत. यू कॅनॉट, राईट? किंवा एखाद्या फंक्शन मध्ये किंवा एखाद्या प्रोसेस मध्ये तुम्ही व्हेरिएबल डिक्लेअर करू शकता. कॅन यू पास दॅट व्हेरिएबल आउटसाइड द फंक्शन और आउटसाइड द प्रोसेस? No, you cannot. In the same context, in VHDL also, variables declared within that process cannot be passed outside that process. त्या प्रोसेसच्या बाहेर व्हेरिएबल पास करू शकत नाही तुम्ही. No, it is not allowed. It is only for that local use. त्या विदिन प्रोसेस मध्येच तुम्ही व्हेरिएबल यूज करू शकता. त्या प्रोसेसच्या बाहेर त्या व्हेरिएबलची व्हॅल्यू जात नाही, राईट? So this is about the variable. Now third data object is the signal, right? Third data object is the signals. Now what do you mean by signals? So it holds a list of values which include the current value of a signal and a set of possible features values that are to be appear on the signal. And you can say it's a kind of wire within a circuit. Signals are nothing but the wire within a circuit. So and signals connect design entities together and communicates changes in the values between the process. That means now variable we can use within the process, but now the question is what happens if you want to pass that particular value of that process to the another process? व्हेरिएबल करू शकत नाही, कारण व्हेरिएबल हे प्रोसेसमध्येच काम करतात. मग जर का ती व्हॅल्यू तुम्हाला त्या प्रोसेसच्या बाहेर तुम्हाला यूज करायची आहे, तर मग त्यासाठी तुम्ही काय कराल? सो इन दॅट केस यू कॅन यूज द सिग्नल. So in that case, you can use the signal. So signal can pass value outside the process. Signal ला ती authority आहे, variable ला नाही. Variable you can use within the process statement only, but signal has ability to pass the value outside the process statement also. And it is nothing but the wires or the buses in an actual circuit, right? You can interpret signal as a wires or buses in an actual design, and it is used to communicate the changes in the values between different processes. म्हणजे जेव्हा दोन प्रोसेस मध्ये तुम्हाला व्हॅल्यू एक्सचेंज करायचा असतो, राईट, ते तुम्ही व्हेरिएबल नाही करू शकत. का? कारण व्हेरिएबल प्रोसेसच्या बाहेर जातच नाही. त्या प्रोसेस मध्ये तुम्ही व्हेरिएबल वापरू शकता, पण जेव्हा तुम्हाला दोन प्रोसेस मध्ये कम्युनिकेशन करायचं असतं, त्या केसमध्ये तुम्हाला सिग्नल यूज करावा लागतो. Right? You can use a signal to communicate between the two different processes, and signals can be interpreted as a wires or buses in an actual design. आता जसं की आपण पाहिलं की व्हेरिएबल्स कॅन बी डिक्लेअर्ड इन द प्रोसेस अँड सब प्रोग्राम्स, तसं आता सिग्नल कुठे कुठे डिक्लेअर करू शकता तुम्ही? सो सिग्नल कॅन बी डिक्लेअर्ड इन द एंटिटी, signal can be declared in the packages, you can declare signal in the architecture and blocks, right? या चार ठिकाणी तुम्ही सिग्नल डिक्लेअर करू शकता. Now what is syntax for the signal? The syntax for the variable, constant and signal is same, right? Only you have to change the word. Whenever it is variable, you have to write here variable. Now it is signal, you have to write here signal, then signal name, its type and its value, right? You can have a look on this example. This is the statement signal name is beep, its type is a bit and its value is 0. Its value is 0. Then signal name is count, its type is integer, range from 0 to 100, and its value is 5. Okay, next data types. So what are different data types in VHDL? We have talked about the data objects. Don't get confused between the data object and data types. Data object is different thing and data types is a different thing, right? Data object is different, data types are different. Now what are different data types that we can have in a VHDL? We have enumeration type of data, we have integer type, we have some predefined VHDL data types. We have that are defined by the that are defined in the VHDL library only. There are some predefined VHDL data, array types, record, then standard logic data types, signed, unsigned, right? So these are the basic data types that we can use for the VHDL programming. बरोबर आहे? कुठल्याही लँग्वेजचे एक डेटा टाइप्स असतात का नाही? जसं सी लँग्वेजचे काय डेटा टाइप्स आहेत? You have float, you have character, you have integer. These are the data types. तसं VHDL मध्ये डेटा टाइप्स कुठले आहेत? Enumeration type, integer type, predefined VHDL data types, array types, record, then standard logic data, signed and unsigned types. Right? Now we will discuss one by one. What do you mean by this enumeration type data? So basically this enumeration type, it is defined by listing all possible values of that type, right? And these all possible values or these values can be identifiers or a single character literals. An identifier is a name as a blue or anything, any character word or any name that can be used as a enumeration type of data. That can be used as a enumeration type of data, right? That means syntax is type, then type name is enumeration underscore literal, and there you can mention the enumeration literal, where type name is as identifier, and each enumeration literal, it can be either the days, जसं तुम्हाला you have to mention 7 days, so you can mention that 7 days using this enumeration type of data, Monday to Sunday. If you want to mention some standard logic values, unsigned or high impedance, don't care, you can use this enumeration type of data, right? Then so basically this enumerated type that defines a set of user defined values considering of identifier and character literals, right? So it is the user defined values. If you want to declare or if you want to use some user defined data types, then you can use the enumeration data type, right? Then you can use some enumeration data type. Now next is a integer. Next is a integer data type. As the name suggests, it's like a mathematical integers, and the integer type defines a type whose set of values fall within a specified integer range. बरोबर आहे. सी मध्ये पण एक इंटिजरची रेंज आहे का नाही, त्याच मध्ये तुम्हाला इंटिजर यूज करावं लागतं. तसं व्हीएचडीएल मध्ये सुद्धा -2,147,483,647 +2,147,483,647. This is the vast range of integer type you can use in a VHDL. And basically it is useful for a counting, indexing, and controlling the loops. What is syntax for this integer? Type, then type name, it's a range and integer range, right? It's a range and integer range. That means type. What is type of integer? It's a count. Is range from 0 to 10. Type integer, its range is minus this to plus this. In this way, you can use this integer type data. Next one is a predefined VHDL types, right? You have different predefined VHDL types. So what are these predefined VHDL types you can have is, there are some standard predefined data types that is available in the library, IEEE library of the VHDL. What are these predefined data types, or what are these predefined data types? You have a Boolean type data, right? Then bit, it is enumeration type with only single value, either 0 or 1, either 0 or 1. Boolean type data, then bit, then character, then integer, then natural, right? Subtypes of integers, and that can be used to represent a non-negative numbers. You have a positive predefined, that positive can be used to non-negative as well as non-zero numbers. You have a bit underscore vector, it represents an array of bit values. That means we have to if you want to use more than 1 bit data, that means 8-bit data, then you should use this bit vector. And if you want to use single bit, then you can use this bit, it is a single value. Bit means what? Either 0 or 1. But you have a 5-bit data, then which data type you should use? You should use this bit underscore vector. Then you have a string, then you have a real numbers, and some physical type time. So these are the some predefined data types available in the VHDL. Okay. Now next, array types. The next data type is array types. So what do you mean by array? What do you mean by array? Array is nothing but a group of one or more elements of the same type, right? Array is nothing but a group of one or more elements of the same type together as a single object. एकाच टाइपच्या एकापेक्षा जास्त एलिमेंट्सचा ग्रुप to form a single object is nothing but the array. Now, what are two types of array? Constrained array and unconstrained array. Okay. Now, what is constrained array type? So, in a constrained array type, whose index range is explicitly defined, right? Constrained array type मध्ये काय असतं, त्याची इंडेक्स रेंज ही एक्सप्लिसिटली डिफाईन असते, त्याला तुम्ही म्हणता constrained array. And what is unconstrained array, right? So unconstrained array is what? Whose index range is not defined. हा फरक लक्षात ठेवा. Constrained array means what? Whose index range is explicitly defined. Now what is syntax? What is syntax for the constrained array? You have a type, then array type, its name is array, its discrete range, right? And its subtype indication. That means you have to define its range, right? You have to mention the index for that particular array. In case of you are using a constraint type, then you have to use the or you have to mention the index range. Next, unconstrained type. As the name indicates, unconstrained means what? Whose index name is not defined. Whose index range is not defined. What is syntax for this index range? Sorry, unconstrained array. Type, then array name is array, then type name, its range, and its subtype. Now, in this case, the range is a optional. Range is a optional. That means what? You can have liberty to not define its index. In case of unconstrained array, तुम्हाला त्याचा इंडेक्स डिफाइन केलाच पाहिजे किंवा त्याची इंडेक्स रेंज डिफाइन केलीच पाहिजे हे कंपल्शन नसतं. पण कन्स्ट्रेंट अरे मात्र तुम्हाला इंडेक्स रेंज त्याची द्यावीच लागते, राइट? सो दिस इज डिफरन्स बिटवीन द constrained array and unconstrained array, and these are the two types of array. Now, what do you mean by record? Now, array म्हणजे काय बघितलं आपण? It is group of one or more elements of the same type. पण आता तुम्हाला वेगवेगळ्या टाइपच्या एलिमेंटचा ग्रुप करायचा आहे, तर त्यासाठी तुम्ही काय कराल? So in that case, you can use this record data type, right? So record types, it's a group of one or more elements of different types together as a single object. म्हणजे अरे आणि रेकॉर्ड मध्ये काय डिफरन्स आहे लक्षात आला? अरे हा एकाच प्रकारच्या किंवा एकाच टाइपच्या एलिमेंटचा ग्रुप आहे, पण रेकॉर्ड हा वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या एलिमेंटचा ग्रुप आहे. दिस इज द बेसिक अँड व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट डिफरन्स बिटवीन द अरे अँड रेकॉर्ड. सो बेसिकली record data type is a group of one or more elements of different types together as a single object, right? म्हणजे ह्याच्यात आता एका टाइपचे एलिमेंट्स नाहीयेत, ह्याच्यात एका टाइपचे एलिमेंट्स नाहीयेत. It has a different types elements, one or more different type elements together as a single object, and this is the record type. Now, what is syntax for this type is same. Type, its type name, then the different elements or different types of elements you can group together in case of record types. So this is about the record type. Here again, example, you have this variable t1, its type is integer range from this. You have this another variable, it's a date type, it's again elements are different, and you can group this all two different elements together ऍज अ सिंगल ऑब्जेक्ट विथ द हेल्प ऑफ रेकॉर्ड. म्हणजे रेकॉर्ड मध्ये एकापेक्षा जास्त वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे एलिमेंट्स तुम्ही ग्रुप करू शकता. अंडरस्टूड? नाउ नेक्स्ट डेटा टाइप इज standard logic types, right? Next data type is standard logic type. So basically this VHDL language is known as 9-valued logic language. Basically this VHDL language is known as 9-valued logic. Now there are some 9 standard logic values. It's a predefined one. Okay, it's a predefined one. There are some 9 standard valued predefined, and that comes under this standard logic type. Which are those 9 valued? U. First one is a U. That means what? Uninitialized forcing. Then X, that means unknown. 0, it indicates forcing low. 1, it indicates forcing high. Z, it indicates high value. W, it is the high impedance. L, it stands for weak. H stands for unknown weak. And underscore, it stands for weak low. And double unknown is stands for weak high. That means U, X, 0, 1, Z, W, L, H, and underscore. These are the predefined 9 values that we can use in a VHDL program, right? These are the 9 standard values. U is uninitialized, X is unknown, then 0 is a logic 0, 1 forcing low means it's a logic 0. You can simply remember that. 1 is a logic 1, Z is the high impedance, W is a weak unknown, L is a weak logic 0, H is a weak logic 1, and underscore is a don't care. Underscore is don't care. म्हणजे परत सांगतो, U is a uninitialized, X is a unknown, 0 means logic 0, 1 means logic 1, Z is nothing but high impedance, W is weak unknown, right? Means X is a simply unknown, W is a weak unknown, then L is a weak logic 0, then weak logic 1, and underscore is a don't care. Underscore is a don't care. So you have a set of these 9 standard logic values. How to remember this? U is a uninitialized, then X01, it is unknown, then logic 0, logic 1, Z is a high impedance, W stands for weak unknown, then LH stands for weak logic 0, weak logic 1, and last is a underscore, that is don't care. Last is a underscore, that is don't care. These are the 9 standard logic values which are available in the IEEE 1164 library, right? Which we are using as a basic library in a VHDL programming. IEEE 1164 standard logic library. Okay. Now next data type is C. Same thing is mentioned here. Library IEEE. Then use this IEEE standard underscore logic underscore 1164.all. That means now see here. This is the library IEEE. In that library, this standard underscore logic underscore 1164 is a package, and in that package we are using the all items. म्हणजे पहिले library dot package name dot item name, right? IEEE standard logic, it's a package, and it's a whatever the elements or items in that package, we are selecting the all items, right? This is what this is how you can use the standard logic type. Now the next data type is a signed and unsigned data type. Signed and unsigned data type. So both signed and unsigned data types are defined in the standard synthesis packages. That is the numeric underscore bit. So whenever you want to use some signed and unsigned data types, you have to use this numeric underscore bit package and numeric underscore standard package. Objects with the unsigned types are interpreted as a signed binary integers, and objects with the signed types are interpreted as a 2's complement binary integers. म्हणजे unsigned type चे ऑब्जेक्ट से इंटरप्रिट कसे होतात? इट इज इंटरप्रिटेड ॲज अ अनसाइंड इंटरप्रिटेड ॲज अ अनसाइंड बायनरी इंटिजर्स. आणि साइंड टाइप्स मधले ऑब्जेक्ट्स किंवा एलिमेंट्स कसे इंटरप्रिट होतात? इट इज इंटरप्रिटेड ॲज अ 2's कॉम्प्लिमेंट बायनरी इंटिजर्स. म्हणजे अनसाइंड मधले फक्त अनसाइंड बायनरी इंटिजर्स आणि साइंड मधले 2's कॉम्प्लिमेंट ऑफ binary integers. 2's complement of binary integers. Okay. Now, what is syntax for this signed and unsigned data types? So first type, then signed, then its array, then its natural, its range, and of bit or standard logic. Then in the same way, you can define the unsigned numbers or unsigned data also. How? Syntax is given here. Type, then unsigned is array, natural its range, and it is of bit or standard logic. Okay, so here is the example. This is what the library for the standard logic data types, and this is the library for the unsigned and signed data types. Numeric underscore bit, right? This is the library for to use signed and unsigned data types, right? Then you have a next is a subtypes, right? So you have a next data types as a subtypes. So what is this? So VHDL provides subtypes which are defined as a subsets of other types, right? Whatever the other data types you can use. So by using these subtypes, you can define, provide these subtypes which are defined as a subset of other data types. So anywhere a type definition can appear, a subtype definition can also be appear. It is a natural and positive are subtypes of integer, and they can be used with an integer function. That means it can be used with integer function. That means you can have a look on this example. Subtype, it's a name of subtype, then it is of type integer, and its range is 0 to 15. Its range is 0 to 15. Here also subtype is a keyword, then name of this subtype is what? Bit underscore vector 6 is, it is of data type bit underscore vectors 5 down to 0. That means it's a 6-bit data. It's a 6-bit data. Now this is all about the different data types that we can use in a VHDL programming, right? Now next part of the this VHDL programming is operators. म्हणजे आतापर्यंत आपण काय काय पाहिलं? We have studied the data objects. What are the data objects? Signal, constant, variable. Then we have studied the different data types we have that we can use in the VHDL programming. Now we are going to discuss about the operators, right? Operators in the VHDL programming. So this part we will continue in the next lecture. For today, we will stop here. If you have any query or doubt regarding the points that we have discussed in the today's lecture, you can ask me right now.